133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145 and in Germany 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106 at live.com and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have two ears and one mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Oh, both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man, in his time, plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then a soldier full of strange oaths and bearded like the pod, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon lined with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and a pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved a world too wide for his trunk shank, and his big manly voice turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Send in the clowns. Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. clowns. Send in the clowns. Just when I'd stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love the farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. Sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. Where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe next year.
Knowledge is power. Classes in session. Hour 106.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, and you in midair, sending the clowns. Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. clowns. Just when I stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual friend, sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love fuss? My fault, I fear. I thought that you want what I want. Sorry, my dear, but where are the clowns? Quick, send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. And where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe next year.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, and you in midair, sending the clowns. Isn't it bliss?
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Class is in session on Hits 92 FM and Power 106 FM. Join Hits 92 FM from Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and Power 106 FM on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for class time. Fun, interactive, educational content for students from the early childhood to secondary level. We take you to school on a wide range of subjects, including language arts, literacy, mathematics, civics, religious education, and others, all from the comfort of your home. Class time on Hits 92 FM and Power 106 FM is brought to you in partnership with the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies. And all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace, which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens o'er her face. Where thoughts serenely sweet express, how pure, how dear their dwelling place, and on that cheek and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent.
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Where are the clowns? Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns just when I'd stop opening doors. Finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours. Making my entrance again with my usual flair. Sure of my lies, no one is there. Don't you love fun? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. Sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. But where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe next year.
We started out this afternoon with a piece popularly known as All the World's a Stage by William Shakespeare from As You Like It, Act 2, Scene 7, Jakes to Duke Sr. And then we paired that with Frank Sinatra's version of Send in the Clowns. And then we followed that up with Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day, William Shakespeare, again. And paired that with Shirley Bassey's version of Send in the Clowns. And our third and final piece, She Walks in Beauty by Gordon Byron. And we matched that one with Judy Collins's version of Send in the Clowns. If you're wondering what's the occasion is the birthday of perhaps Jamaica's greatest, most accomplished broadcaster, actress, lecturer, and we could go on and on and on, and not just operating within the Jamaican space, but of international repute. We're referring to the great Leonie Forbes, OD. What we have been doing over the years on this program would have been inspired by the work of Leonie Forbes in more ways than one. We have had the privilege of sharing a stage with her, and we also recognize that she had a knack of combining poetry with music, which she did masterfully. And we in no way have been trying to replicate that, because the great Leonie Forbes is inimitable, cannot be imitated. She's a lady of class, depth, breadth, reach, a tremendous human being. We salute her on this, her birthday. Happy birthday, Leonie Forbes. Later on, we'll share with you the remarkable story of the great Leonie Forbes.
Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. But where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 14th day of the 6th month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. Put another way, it's the 14th day of the first month of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. In this Disaster Risk Reduction Month, Road Safety Awareness Month, Brides Month, and Pride Month. It's National Immigrant Heritage Month in the USA. Members of the Caribbean diaspora in America are celebrating National Caribbean American Heritage Month and Caribbean Cuisine Month. We should let you know as well that in the United States, June is being observed as Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, Cataract Awareness Month, Myasthenia Gravis Awareness Month, Aphasia Awareness Month, Congenital Cytomegalovirus Awareness Month, Migraine and Headache Awareness Month, National Safety Month, Scleroderma Awareness Month, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, PTSD Awareness Month, Scoliosis Awareness Month, and Men's Health Month. In fact, this week is International Men's Health Week. Today is also being observed as World Sea Turtle Day. It's Commemoration Day of Victims of the Communist Terror in Latvia, Day of Mourning and Hope in Lithuania, Freedom Day in Malawi, and Liberation Day in the Falkland Islands. It's World Blood Donor Day. Hoy es lunes el 14 de junio 2021. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes, desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est lundi le 14 juin 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme allant de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
Don't fall.
All we're saying is it's Monday, the 14th of June, 2021, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never, ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Losing my timing this late in my career. But where are
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
Hey, you see, these days, it's good to get straight to the point. Quick and easy. That's why Western Union gives you another way to receive money straight to your bank account with Western Union's direct-to-bank money transfer. Visit a Western Union agent location and sign up now and tell your family and friends to send your next Western Union money transfer directly to your bank account in Jamaica. It's easy. Visit a Western Union location or call our call center at 876-926-2454. Sign up today to receive a money transfer directly to your bank account with ease with Western Union. Moving money for better.
Hello, Jamaica. I am Death. I sincerely appreciate your amazing effort ushering persons to the afterlife. Motorists, please continue overtaking on unbroken lines, running red lights, and speeding through school zones. You've exceeded my expectations and my quota. Ward off death. Obey the road code. A message from the Road Safety Unit.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions. This is the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114. The text line for Land Solutions today is 876 And Calicia Findlay, who's on this afternoon, is going to help us with this one.
Dervan, it's 876-881-5254.
Thank you very much. 876-881-5254. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The website, landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead before turning up, or just call and you'll be advised accordingly, especially in light of the existing COVID-19 protocols. Here are the numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. In a moment, your host on Land Solutions today, attorney at law, Calicia Findlay.
Thanks again, Dervan, and good afternoon. Good afternoon, listeners. As Dervan just said, the text line for today is 876-881-5254. I think I almost forgot the number myself. 876-881-5254. And I'll go straight into our messages. We had quite a few coming in just before the start of the broadcast. But as always, feel free to call in or send an email with your questions. Again, the numbers to call in, 876-922-4112-4. Good afternoon. Where in Jamaica can I go to see if someone owns land? I get asked this question quite often. People sometimes just out of curiosity or sometimes just plain fast and want to know people's business, want to know who owns a particular parcel of land. And we see it happening where someone may be interested in purchasing property. You can go to the titles office to do a title search to see if there is a registered title for property. So let me make that distinction. If there is a registered title, you can go to the titles office to see who owns the property. If the land is not registered, there is no central registry. And this is one of the reasons why we encourage people to get a registered title for their property. However, even though you can go to the titles office to get a copy of a title, and titles are public documents, you cannot do a name search. So you can't go to the titles office and say, let me see all the properties owned by John Brown. That's prohibited. What you can do, however, is search by valuation number, by the address, whether it's the lot number or the street address. And if you have the title reference numbers, what we call the volume and folio numbers, you can also search by that. So yes, you can do title searches at the titles office, but you can't search by name. If you know the volume and folio numbers, you pay $500. If you don't know the numbers, if all you have is the valuation number or the address, you pay $1,000. And remember, the valuation number is that number. I think it's a 10 or 9-digit number that you will see on your property tax receipt or your notice of assessment to pay property taxes. Continuing with our text messages. My neighbor has been able to get title for my land. I know this is a fraudulent application because I have only been away from Jamaica for 5 years. What can I do? All right, if you are applying for title, and in this case, it seems like it would have been an adverse possession application, you have to show that you have been on property for at least 12 years. Unfortunately, sometimes there is fraud and people are able to procure titles fraudulently. And this is what this person has been saying because they're saying that they have only been away for 5 years. If that's the case, the first thing I would advise them to do is to lodge a caveat on the property. A caveat operates as a temporary block, and this person will need to file an action in court. They need to sue this person for fraud as soon as possible. Because once a title has been issued, it's only fraud that you can show and prove to overturn or to cancel this title. And it's not an easy thing to prove. You're going to need quite a bit of evidence and convincing evidence to show that this title was obtained fraudulently. But if you can show that you had only been away for 5 years, then definitely go ahead. And just generally speaking, for those of you who may own property and you're not able to be on the land or to visit it frequently, have someone look after it for you. Have someone looking on it ever so often, because we know how it is. As soon as someone leaves their property, you have unscrupulous people who go around stealing people's property. Someone can move out and within a couple of days, someone has moved in. Someone will start farming your property, or they'll just go straight ahead and make a title application. So secure your property as much as you can. Put up no trespassing signs. Get someone to be on it. Could be a caretaker. You could lease it out to someone. Have a written agreement. And I'm not saying that this person failed to do anything, because if you have only been away for 5 years, that's not sufficient time for someone to try and claim your property by adverse possession. So even though you are still within your rights, we also have to try to be proactive. So secure your property as best as you can. Again, our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-41124, or text line 876-881-5254. Email gloria@landsolutionsja.com. You may also send us a message on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/landsolutions. Over to our WhatsApp line. And again, the WhatsApp line is the same as the text line, 876-881-5254. This is an interesting one. My husband has served me with a notice to leave our matrimonial home. Please give me some advice. I don't want to give up my rights if I leave. Some spouses believe, for instance, if there's a matrimonial home and only one person's name is on the title, meaning one of the spouses, that they can go right ahead and order that person to leave or serve them with a notice to quit, as if you would be serving a tenant or a squatter. Remember, once it is a matrimonial property, each person, there's a presumption in law that each person is entitled to a 50-50 share in the property, even if one person's name isn't on the title. This is by virtue of the Property Rights of Spouses Act. So in a case like this, where you are, I think in this case it would be the wife, because she says it's her husband who has served her with the notice. In a case like this wife would need to, of course, seek legal advice first. And she would then need to put in a claim for her half. She can decide if she wants to leave or not. And sometimes you have to leave a situation, especially if it's uncomfortable or abusive. Leaving doesn't mean that you are giving up your right or your interest in the property. Sometimes we have to be very prudent. If you're in an abusive situation, and if you can find somewhere else to go, leaving doesn't mean you're giving up your right. You have to think about your safety. So if you are in a case where it is abusive, leaving will not mean you're abandoning your right. So seek legal advice as soon as possible. This notice wouldn't be valid because you have an interest in the property. So again, you would need to seek legal advice as soon as possible to get your interest determined. And when I say get your interest determined, it means that you would make an application to the court, and there can be quite a few options to either have the property sold on the open market and the proceeds be split 50-50, you can buy him out or he can buy you out. The court will assess the means and the evidence to see which option works better for the parties. Sometimes it happens where neither party can afford to buy the other one out. If that is the case, the court will order that the property just be sold on the open market, meaning it be sold to a stranger, and the proceeds are split. And in fact, sometimes too, both parties may very well be able to afford to buy the other one out. But because no one is relenting, no one is giving up, no one is willing to make a compromise, the court will just order that the property be sold. So seek legal advice as soon as possible and have a court intervene, because again, once it is your matrimonial home, each party is entitled to a 50-50 share. Again, and let me just say this, many people believe that once you live in a house with your spouse, it automatically qualifies as your matrimonial home. The law says a house can only be your matrimonial home if either both names are on the title or one of the spouse's names on the title. So if you live in a house with your husband, you live there for 50 years, but on the title, it's the wife's name and her brother's name. Just by virtue of the brother's name being on that title disqualifies it from being the matrimonial home. So don't just think because you live in a house with your spouse, it automatically becomes the matrimonial home. You have a lot of people just sitting and waiting and saying, no man, I don't need to do anything. I don't need to secure my interest because I know since I've been living here for so long, I'm automatically entitled to a half. That's not the case. Another thing also, and I see it happening, especially with women, they will move into what we call the family yard or the family home with a spouse. So you'll have a particularly large property with a couple houses on it, and they have a house on that property. But that title go for land. On that title, it will be someone else's name, maybe the husband's mother and father. And then what happens now? Usually, the husband dies, and then the family wants the wife to leave the property, and she's saying, no, it is our matrimonial home. I don't have to leave. That's incorrect. So be careful of this family land situation. Please don't buy any property that you don't have any interest in, meaning don't invest in any property. Don't build on any property if your name isn't on the title. Why are you going to be spending your hard-earned money for property that isn't in your name? This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. June 20 is Father's Day, and Bashko has some great gift ideas for the dads in your life.
Like coffee mugs and insulated travel mugs for the dad who loves his morning beverage.
Picture frames for the perfect memories, luggage for that upcoming family trip, and even smart TVs for that perfect man cave experience.
Or why not come in and make your own gift basket for dad from our wide selection of personal care items as well as alcoholic or non-alcoholic wines.
There are so many options to help you make this Father's Day extra special. At Bashko, at 30 years, giving you more.
It's a Monday afternoon, and that means time for Land Solutions here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number. That number is 876-881-5254. 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Gloria@landsolutionsja.com. And on Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage potential clients and members of the general public to call instead of turning up at the offices of Brown, Findlay and Company in light of the COVID-19 protocols. The numbers to call: Brown, Findlay and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law, Calicia Findlay.
Thank you, Dervan. And just a reminder to listeners to speak to me live on air now. The numbers to call again, 876-922-41124, and not the text line. The text line is 876-881-5254. Over to our WhatsApp messages. I heard another lawyer saying people should update their will where children existed before marriage. For clarification, does marriage revoke wills? Please explain. I'm a long-time listener. Thank you, long-time listener. We appreciate the support. And yes, that other lawyer is correct. Marriage revokes a will. Marriage cancels a will. So if you made a will in January 2021 and you got married after that, let's say you got married in March, then as soon as you say I do, that will you made in January is automatically canceled. So if you have made a will and you have been married afterwards, even if nothing will change in terms of the wording of your will, you have to do a new will with a date that comes after your marriage. And that's just what the law says. The Wills Act. Marriage cancels a will. I know a lot of people think that once they have made a will, that's it. They don't need to look on it again. But please review your will from time to time. As I just said, marriage cancels a will. And things could have changed. You may have owned property in 2015 and then you sold it in 2021. Do a new will. Because you don't want to have any confusion when you die. You don't want to say in your will, I will my house at this particular place to this particular person, and then it turns out that you no longer own the house. Let's say one of your beneficiaries died.
Calicia.
Yes, Dervan.
If you
Do
could
we have a
just
call?
stick up in there, please. And yes, we have a call
No
waiting.
problem. Thank you.
Good.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, my dear. How may I help you?
Situation, you see, you hearing me?
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I have a situation. You see, my mother, she's in her 90s. And her grandfather died long time and leave a piece of property. So now that we're willing to go back to the country, we don't know who is paying property tax, because I think somebody was paying the property tax up until 2015.
Okay.
But we don't know who was paying the tax. Could she just go back there and claim the property like that? I would like to know.
When was the last time you guys went to the property to see what was happening on it?
My mother, she don't go back there from our when. Because I tell her that she's in her 90s. now.
Understood. The first thing you would need to do is to go there and see if anybody is occupying it. I think you have your radio on in the background. Turn it off for me, please.
Okay, I move away from it and it's turned off.
Okay, no problem. So go back and just see what's happening with the land. You see, because so much time has passed, someone could very well be living on it or farming it or doing something with it. You say it seems someone had been paying the taxes up to a couple of years ago. So go and see if anything has been happening like that. Because if someone has been occupying it for at least 12 years, then they can go ahead and apply for the title.
Okay.
And also, because your mother has never taken up possession of the property, I suspect she doesn't have any documentation from your grandfather showing that he left the property for her.
No.
If she were to now go to the property and try to get title in her name, she would have to show that she has been there for at least 12 years. So if nothing is happening with the land, and there's no dispute, certainly you guys can go and try and locate the property and occupy it.
Excuse me. I don't think that no one is living on it. No one is living on it. But as far as I understand, is that someone is paying tax.
Yeah, man, I heard that. But let me just explain. Paying taxes is not enough for someone else to claim the property. But usually when someone is paying the taxes, it could be because they are maybe either living there, taking care of it, farming it, bushing it, something. So the very first thing before you go and start taking up possession is just go and see if anything is happening on the property. And you can do it gradually. Go and visit, then start, bushing it, fencing it to see if anybody raises an objection. But there is a possibility, like I said, because you guys haven't been there for so long, that you may no longer be able to claim it. But nothing tried, nothing done. Go and see what's happening with it.
Okay. All right. Thanks much.
You are welcome. Thanks for listening and all the best.
Okay.
Again, our number live on air, 876-922-41124, or text and WhatsApp line, 876-881-5254. To call us in office, the office number is 908-1950, 908-3518. And the number for Ocheria's office, where we'll be this Thursday, 876-974-6083.
Calicia, we have another caller for you.
Thanks, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, how may I help?
Okay. What effect does the divorce have on a will?
The what?
A divorce. When someone is married, they make a will, and there's a divorce. What effect does that have on the will?
It really doesn't have any effect, but I would advise someone, if they get a divorce after making a will, they should do a new will, especially if they had perhaps willed something that left something in their will for their spouse, and they now want to change that, then they should do a new will. But unlike where marriage cancels a will, divorce does not cancel a will.
Okay, but in any case, go ahead and make a new one.
Certainly, because I'm sure most people would not want to be leaving any property for their ex-wife or ex-husband.
Well, it depends. It can be a tricky one. It depends on the relationship.
Certainly can.
Okay, all right. Thank you. That's quite clear.
Thank you for listening. Take care.
Bye-bye.
And just to reiterate, for those, and we see it happening all the time, for a lot of people, they either were willed property by a parent or a grandparent, but they do nothing about it. And sometimes, yes, sometimes some people are negligent, but sometimes, honestly, through no fault of their own, to just the circumstances in life. And usually what we see happening is that those persons will come into us trying to see if they can claim property when they find out that someone else is claiming the property. So if you know of land being left for you, don't sit and leave it for 15, 20, 30 years. More often than not, if you come to us after so many years have passed, it may be too late. And what we see happening too is someone will say, my grandfather left property for my father died, and now I want to claim the property. You don't know where this land is. You don't know if anyone lives on it, or what I see happening too is that grandfather may have owned property a long time, let's say from in the 1940s, and you know exactly where this property is, but now someone has been living on it for the past 30 years, and now you want to claim this land because it belonged to your grandfather. It doesn't work like that. And we can't stress this enough. Just because property was owned by a relative doesn't mean that you can now automatically claim it. So again, be vigilant. someone says they own a piece of land, but they have lost all the paperwork when they bought it. They lost it in a fire about 10 years ago. Can they apply for a title without any papers? It is possible, but it makes the application a little more difficult. So when we are applying for a title, for those of you who listen to us regularly, you would know that you need your survey diagram. You need 2 witnesses who can speak to the 30 to 40-year history of the property and any supporting documentation. So let us say you have an old receipt from when you bought it 30 years ago, an old light bill, old water bill, a birth certificate to show that you were born on this property. So the more documentation you have, the better. It makes your application more credible, more believable. But we have done applications without documentation. In a case like this, what we rely on is what the declarants say. And the titles office, it is standard, or the National Land Agency, I should say, once a title application is being made, they send notices to the neighbors. The application itself is advertised in the paper, and then there's a 6-month grace period. And I say that because those are some of the measures to ensure that there is no, or to minimize the risk of fraud with these applications. So it is possible, but it does make the application a little more difficult. So be very careful with your paperwork. And again, please don't just sit on this valuable asset and not try to apply for a title. Don't just wait until someone comes and they're trying to get you off the property. That's another thing we see happening. You'll be on your property for 30 years, and then someone shows up with a title saying that they have just bought the property. Please be vigilant, be proactive. Don't wait for things to happen, because sometimes it can be too late. It can be too late sometimes. So just be very vigilant. Let me see if I can get a quick message before the break. What is the purpose of a surveyor's identification report? A surveyor's ID report shows the boundaries of the property. It identifies whether there are any breaches of covenants or any encroachments. An encroachment, for example, is where you build over onto someone else's land or someone builds over onto your land. So when you are buying property, it is essential that you get a surveyor's ID report, because if you buy the property and it becomes yours and it turns out that there is a problem, then you'll be responsible for that problem. However, if you identify the problem, while it still belongs to the seller, then it is the seller's responsibility to fix the problem. So don't tell us that, oh, you know the land from birth. You can't determine the boundaries. It has to be a surveyor. This is Land Solutions.
The Time by Medical Disposables and Supplies Limited, an official distributor of 3M Healthcare Solutions, 83 Hagley Park Road, Kingston 10, is 3 p.m.
Now, JPS lines can fall down for a number of reasons. Car accident, people cutting trees on lines, or a hurricane. If you see a JPS line down, do not touch it. Don't jump on it. Do not try to move it. Call the professionals at JPS so them can deal with it. JPS is more than happy to sort out the problem once they know it exists. If you try to mess with a fallen power line, you can cause damage to yourself. Stay safe. Protect life and property. For assistance, call JPS at 888-225-5577. JPS, powering what matters.
Win big this summer. Enter the Gleaner Star Luxurious Escape Competition. Win the grand prize of 2 weekends for 2 at an all-inclusive hotel plus $25,000 in groceries, weekly cash prizes, and more. Buy a printed copy of the Gleaner Star. Enter the serial number at the front page by texting 876-322-7967 or online at gleanerluxury.com. Competition runs from June 6th to July 10, 2021. See the Gleaner and the Star for details. Your luxurious escape awaits.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254, 876-881-5254. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage you to call the offices of Brown, Findlay and Company, and you'll be advised accordingly. The numbers to call: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law, Calicia Findlay, and we have a caller for you, Calicia.
Thank you, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You have a property and you have a lawyer looking about it, and the lawyer put a covenant on the property.
I'm sorry, the lawyer put a what on the property?
A covenant.
Oh, a caveat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That means that the property is your own?
Yes, all right. So what a caveat is, you say, is a temporary block.
Yes.
Or it also serves as a notice. Yes. So if someone is trying to transfer the property, you will be notified. It doesn't mean that it is not yours. So yes, it is still yours. Usually a lawyer may put a caveat on a property if there are outstanding legal fees for work done by the lawyer. Do you know why the lawyer has put the caveat on the property?
Yeah. That the place now is a house that somebody abandoned it. And I lived there for the past 14 years. 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last now, I said,
okay, I think in this case, what may have happened, you see, is that the lawyer wants to be notified if you are going to try to make an application to get the title in your name.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think that may be the reason. But you said that you have been there for a long time?
A good while, a long time now.
How many years?
About 14 years.
Okay. Do you pay rent to anybody?
Oh, no. Nothing.
Mm-hmm. So have you ever tried to apply for a title in your name?
Yes, I did. Lawyer looking about that. No.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I see what's happening. If it's your lawyer who has put the caveat on it, that lawyer has done it to protect you in case someone else now tries to make an application or try to transfer the property.
Okay.
So that lawyer has done it to protect your interest.
Yes.
Okay. So all the best with your title application.
All right.
Take care.
Yes. Okay. Thanks.
Again, our numbers to call 876-922-4112-4 and our text and WhatsApp line 876-881-5254. Let me just talk a little about that. So caveats, or some people say caveat, it really doesn't matter. Caveat or caveat, they operate as a notice and a temporary block. So if you have an interest in property, let us say that you paid a deposit when you were purchasing property, or you even paid for the property in full, and for some reason, the seller has not transferred the property in your name, you can put a caveat on the property to protect your interest, because if the caveat is on the property, if they're then trying to sell it or transfer it to someone, you will be notified and you can take the appropriate steps in court.
Sorry.
No problem.
You're still going. Well, we do have another call for you.
I'll get back to that.
Yes.
Thanks. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, my dear. How may I help you?
I'm selling a piece of land, but the person is only giving me half of the money. What do I do?
I would say find someone who can give you all of it. Let me ask you. Let me behave myself. Are they able to pay you all of it within a certain time? What are they
I don't
saying?
know when I don't collect it yet. That's what I'm going to ask when I go Saturday.
All right, well, ask them, but don't collect any money from them. You need to get a lawyer, and he needs to get a lawyer. So if you're asking a certain amount, ask him how much time he would need to pay all of it.
Yes.
So start there, and you need to get a lawyer.
Yes.
All right? Hello? All right,
Hello?
again, our numbers. Yes, my dear. You understand what I'm saying? Again, our numbers to call, we may be having some. Our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-4112-4. And again, for those listeners, the numbers to speak to me on air, 876-922-4112-4. If you want to send a text, the text and WhatsApp only line is 876-881-5254. Back to what I was saying about caveats. So, caveats protect your interest in property. And in that previous caller's, what that previous caller was saying is that he is now in the process of applying for a title, and his lawyer has put a caveat on it. It doesn't affect his interest. In that case, the caveat is to notify him and his attorney if anyone else is either trying to sell the property or to apply for a title. So that is actually a good move by that attorney. Miss Finley, I heard what you just said about marriage canceling wills, but do I have to do a new will if I have a new job? Not necessarily. Getting a new job does not cancel a will. You do a new will if there is any material change. And of course, marriage is one of them because marriage cancels your existing will. But by material change, I mean, let's say both of your executors have died, or your beneficiaries have died, or you no longer own the property. That is what we call a material change. A new job doesn't mean you have to do a new will. So if you did a will last year and you were a teacher then, and now in June 2021, you are a sales representative, it doesn't mean you have to do a new will. It doesn't mean that you are not still the same person. So you don't have to, but don't get me wrong. If you feel like doing a new will, you are perfectly within your rights to do it. So if you want to go ahead and do it, no problem. But again, if your will has your previous occupation, it's still quite valid. Continuing with our messages, what's the difference between a legal aid lawyer and a real lawyer? All right, so let me just stop you right there. Legal aid lawyers are real lawyers. There is no difference between them in terms of the training and the qualification. I am also a legal aid lawyer, and a legal aid lawyer provides their services at usually at a cheaper fee to those who are not able to afford the regular legal fees. And let me just say, we both Gloria and I do work at the Bethel Baptist Legal Aid Clinic, and it is open every Saturday between 10 and 12, and the consultation fee is $500. But again, there is no distinction between a regular attorney who, let's say, works in the government or who works for themselves, as opposed to a legal aid attorney who may work at a legal aid, even a private legal aid clinic or a legal aid clinic run by the government. So no difference. Don't feel any way about going to a private attorney over a legal aid attorney. If you're not getting any difference in services, it's the same training that we all have. I have a lawyer, but I want to check the status of my documents myself at court. Is this possible? It certainly is. And in fact, once we file an application, let's say at the stamp office, the titles office, or the court, we give our clients the reference number so they can check on it themselves, because, things are slow. Especially now with COVID. So many times clients just cannot understand what's taking so long. They probably think that we are not acting quick enough or we haven't filed the document. So standard practice, We give them in court it's called the suit number. Stamp office it's called the case number. Titles office it's called the instrument number. We give them those reference numbers to check for themselves. Yes, it is possible. If you haven't already received this particular reference number from your attorney, feel free to ask them for the reference number, and they should have no objection in giving it to you. Someone is asking regarding the caller who mentioned that the taxes were being paid by another person. Can she ascertain who was paying the taxes? You shouldn't be able to. And I say shouldn't because I've seen where clients have come in and said, Miss Finley, I found out that John Brown has been paying my property taxes. But generally speaking, this is not something that should be divulged, but I've seen it happen. Good afternoon. If you're separated but not divorced and you have acquired property after separation, does the other party have any right to the property? They don't automatically have a right. So with matrimonial property, as I've said, and as most people will know, each spouse is entitled to it 50-50. And there can only be one matrimonial home. The Property Rights of Spouses Act, that's the law that governs matrimonial property. That law says only one house can qualify as the matrimonial property. What happens sometimes, though, is that parties may be unscrupulous. So you may have your matrimonial property and it is just in one person's name. That person quickly does a quick sale to a third party. And because the matrimonial home is no longer in existence, the judge may be forced to look to other property owned by that person so that the unsuspecting spouse can recover some proceeds. So if the matrimonial home was worth $20 million, each spouse would be entitled to $10 million. If that house is sold to someone, the other spouse is now entitled to $10 million. And like I said, if the matrimonial home is no longer available, the judge will look to find it somewhere else. But generally speaking, if you are married, whether you're separated or not, and you buy property in your separate name that does not serve as your matrimonial home, then the other party is not automatically entitled to an interest in it. And for those of you who wish to call us in office, again, the office numbers are 876-908-1950, 908-3518. Remember, we'll be in the Ocho Rios office this Thursday from 10 to 2, shop 6 upstairs, the JN building. You may call us to make an appointment. That number is 876-974-6083. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. Class is in session on Hits 92 FM and Power 106 FM. Join Hits 92 FM from Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and Power 106 FM on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for class time. Fun, interactive, educational content for students from the early childhood to secondary level. We take you to school on a wide range of subjects, including language arts, literacy, mathematics, civics, religious education, and others, all from the comfort of your home. Class time on Hits 92 FM and Power 106 FM is brought to you in partnership with the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information.
It's the final segment of today's edition of Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Let's remind you of the contact details. The numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 881 5254. 876 881 5254. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. That's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call the offices of Brown, Findley and Company, and you'll be advised accordingly. The numbers to call, 876 908 1950. That's 876 908 1950 or 876 908 3518. 876 908 3518. Once again, here's attorney at law, Calicia Findley.
Thank you, Dervan. Hello, good day. My grandparents died a long time ago and left land in the country. No one is living there, but one of my uncles has been paying the taxes on the land. He owes on the land because of the taxes. Can I build on it if I pay the taxes? You should not. Because, and we cannot stress this enough, paying taxes on property does not make you the owner, does not give you any right. And it is very simple. The law says it is who is in possession. Meaning, if you live there, if you fence it, if you bush it, if you take care of it, paying property taxes does not equal possession. Think about it. I live on my little piece of land and I just decide to stop paying the taxes for whatever reason. I still come home every day, every night. I pay my light bill, my water bill. All my neighbors know me. I am there all the time. If Dervan decides to start paying my taxes, even though I'm living here and I've been living here for the past 10, 20 years, if Dervan decides to start paying my taxes, do you think the law will say yes, because Dervan has been paying the taxes, even if it's for the last 5, 10, 20 years, that he can now claim my house that I have been living in? It doesn't work like that. Please, paying the taxes is not enough. If you happen to pay the taxes and you are living there, certainly you can say, yes, I have been in possession. I live there. Here is my light bill for the past 20 years. Here is an old receipt where I paid a workman to build this extra room for me from 2000. Certainly, that entitles you. If you can show that I have rented it out for the past 20 years, I don't live there, but my tenant, Mary Brown, lives there. Here is the rent receipt book going back to 1990. Certainly, that entitles you to apply for a title. But paying the taxes by itself is not enough. Divorce yourself of that thought. So for those of you, especially those of us who may be unscrupulous and want to steal people's property, for those of you who think that just paying the taxes will be enough, you are wrong. If I, as an attorney, if I'm going to submit an application for a title on behalf of a client, if all I say in that application is my client John Brown has been paying the taxes for 30 years, therefore he's entitled to this title, they're going to laugh at me and reject the application. Again, paying the taxes isn't enough. You have to show possession. Continuing with our messages, my father has 17 children. Is it possible to will his land to all of us? It is. It is possible. You can will your property to anybody and to any amount of people. If you have one beneficiary, if you have 20, 30 beneficiaries, it is possible. There is no limit to the amount of names that can go on a title. You have to think about it practically, though. Can all 17 people coexist? But yes, there is no legal prohibition. You can certainly will your property to 17 people. If you're in doubt, because we know how families are in Jamaica, not everyone gets along. If you're in doubt as to whether people will have a disagreement and you're not sure if you should will the house to this person, or you can simply say that you want the property to be sold and that the proceeds be shared between your beneficiaries, if that's what you want. But again, you can go ahead and will your property to as many people as you want. I can't think of anyone suitable to be my executor. Can I ask someone I don't know? Can't think of anyone suitable to be my executor. Can I ask someone I don't know? You can, but would you really want to? Because an executor, for those of you who may not know, the executor is the person who steps into the deceased person's shoes. They are the ones who carry out their wishes. So when choosing an executor, you have to ensure that it is someone that is trustworthy and preferably someone you know. If you are making a will, clearly that means you have a beneficiary. Clearly you are willing your property to someone. So you can make your beneficiary your executor. I find a lot of people don't realize that your beneficiary can be your executor. So as long as the person is over 18, yes, they can be your beneficiary and your executor. If each person's circumstance is different, so you may not want to make your beneficiary your executor. And if you absolutely can't find anyone, perhaps you can speak to an attorney to see if they would be willing to be your executor, perhaps a justice of the peace, but just think about it carefully. And remember too, your executors are entitled to a commission. And that's 6% of the current value of your estate. And that's 6% again when your estate is being probated. So usually when you will your property, if your beneficiary is also your executor, usually your beneficiary doesn't claim the commission. But we find that when the executor is not a beneficiary, they claim their commission. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with an executor claiming their 6% commission. The law provides for it. If there are two executors, they split the commission, so it would be 3% equally. How do I sell my house to my tenant? Do they pay rent after they pay the deposit? So, first part of the question, how do you sell your house to your tenant? You would sell it to them just as you would be selling it to anyone else. Each of you would have to get your attorney. The seller's attorney would prepare the sale agreement, send it over to the tenant's attorney to get the process started. And yes, they should pay you the rent while the sale is going on. I find many tenants believe that once they are buying the property, that after they pay the deposit, they don't have to continue paying the rent. Some of them believe that the deposit equals the rent. No, you continue paying your rent until the sale is finished, meaning until your name is on the title and until the landlord / seller gets the proceeds of sale. Remember, while the sale is going on, the landlord is still the owner. And think about it. What if you start a sale? Yes, you pay the deposit, but for whatever reason, the sale falls through, the sale is cancelled. So yes, you must continue paying your rent, even while you must continue paying your rent while the sale is ongoing. My husband wants to divorce me, but I'm not ready to give up on the marriage. What can I do? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear this. Um, it is an emotional. It is an emotional process, and many times one party is able to one party is ready, I should say, to walk away from the marriage and to formally end it, and another one, and the other party sometimes may not quite be there. If he is willing, perhaps you can seek counseling to see if that can help to resolve the issues. But I find sometimes you see that in a case where one spouse is resisting the divorce, and you will know your own circumstance. And I'm just speaking from experience with other clients. Where one spouse is resisting the divorce, you're just delaying the inevitable. So I know it may be hard. If counseling doesn't work, if you've tried everything, perhaps it may be time to face up to that reality. And let me just say, if you are applying for a divorce, you have to show that you have been separated. You can't just, be living together, have an argument, and then decide, you know what, I'm done with this marriage. And separation does not mean that you have to be living elsewhere. It doesn't mean that you have to be living at one address and the spouse is at another address. The law says that you can be separated and still be living under the same roof. You have to show that you have been separated for at least a year. So many people believe that because they're still living together, even though they consider the marriage has broken down for 5 years, that they can't apply for a divorce. But you can. You can, most certainly can. Separation does not have to be physical. Let me just see if I can get in another quick message. And as always, you can keep your messages coming to 876-881-5254. Can I apply for a title with a photocopy of a diagram? I can't find my original. No, you can't. You need to have your original. If you can't find your original, you need to apply to the National Land Agency, the Survey Department, for a photo print. And a photo print is basically what we call a certified copy or another original. It's a replacement for the diagram that you are unable to find. And I think nowadays, it's a surveyor who has to make that application for you. It's an easy application, but you have to have the original. If your diagram is more than 7 years old, you don't necessarily have to do a new diagram, but you have to get a surveyor's declaration. So if you're in a position as this where you can't find your survey diagram, go to a surveyor. Can be any surveyor. It doesn't have to be the surveyor who did it, and ask them to apply for a photo print. Thanks as always for tuning in to another edition of Land Solutions. I've been your host for today, Calistia Finley. Thanks as always to Dervan. Take care and keep safe.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:30.
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Where are the clouds? Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clouds? There ought to be clouds just when I'd start opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lies, no one is there.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. You're just listening to the sound of Judy Collins, Send in the Clowns. We'll continue our special birthday celebration for the legendary Leonie Forbes, OD. It's her birthday today, and we'll tell you some more a little later on. In the meantime, let's continue with more here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Sunday, the 20th of June, 2021, is Father's Day. And every year, except last year, I believe, every year since its inception, Soroptimist International Jamaica Kingston has been hosting Classics in June. It's a special concert to not just celebrate fathers, but to celebrate music and indeed to raise funds for some very, very worthy initiatives. And you'll hear more as we welcome Soroptimist Maxine Wedderburn, immediate past president of the club. Welcome, Soroptimist Wedderburn. How are you? Or do you say Soroptimist Maxine? Sorry.
Soroptimist Maxine. Hi, Dervan. Shall I say Soroptimist Dervan? It's my absolute pleasure to be here.
The feeling is mutual. We're so happy and honored to have you join us on Both Sides of the Story. Also joining us is a member of the planning committee, and she is quite a soprano. In fact, she has participated in Classics in June concerts in the past. But I would imagine she's on a sabbatical this year. Is that it? Soroptimist Rosette Salazar, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Sabbatical, okay, yes. I can work with that.
Thank you very much for joining us. First up, Soroptimist Maxine, please bring into the loop those who are listening to us and they're going, Soroptimist? What is that? Just in case there are those who haven't heard of Soroptimist International Jamaica Kingston, let's introduce the club to them, please.
Absolutely. And I know there really are probably quite a few who are probably thinking of another organization with a similar name.
Yes.
But we are the premier organization in Jamaica, the first service club for women in Jamaica, which was introduced into the island in 1962 by the outstanding social welfare worker, Mrs. Stella Gregory. Now, she founded the Kingston Club, which is the club that is putting on that fabulous feast of music on Sunday, Father's Day. We are one of 5 clubs in Jamaica. So the Kingston Club is the one of which I'm immediate past president and which will be hosting this event on Father's Day. Now, Sir Optimisto, we are part of a worldwide service organization for women, which is committed to a world where women and girls together achieve their individual and collective potential to realize aspirations and have an equal voice in creating strong, peaceful communities worldwide. And we're not no dibby club. We are part of Sir Optimist International, now boasts over 72,000 members in 121 countries.
Impressive.
And we even have a seat at the UN.
What?
Yay!
Congrats.
So
Well
you
done.
see how influential we are.
Yes. Very impressive. And we'll come back to you in just a moment. But Sir Optimist Rosette, you're a member. You've served as a member of the planning committee, and you are serving as a member of the planning committee. Can you give us an idea of the kind of work that goes into putting together what's described by Sir Optimist Maxine as a musical feast for Father's Day?
Oh, wow. Where do I begin? Okay, so what we do is to, first of all, find out the persons who are able to give up their talent, their artistry, because these persons give up themselves without asking for anything in return, and we know people are busy. So first we find the artists, we seek sponsorship, and we have several sponsors that have come on board once again to help us to make it happen. We orchestrate, for this year we're going to be having video, a virtual showing, which you'll hear more about.
Yes.
And pretty much that's it. It's a real, what I'm telling you will not equate what we have to put into it.
Yes.
But really, it's a lot of work. But in the end, it's really going to be an awesome experience.
Yes, and you've had and you continue to have some distinguished patrons for the event, Sir Optimist Maxine. For example, your patrons, your current patrons, His Excellency Denis Vibo, Ambassador of France to Jamaica, and Madame Angélique Vibo.
Absolutely. You
Yes.
do such a fine job at the pronunciation.
Oh, you're kind. Yeah. So give us. So it clearly it's a prestigious. Let's just call it as it is. It's a prestigious concert of the highest order that you can proudly showcase to the world, which is exactly what's happening this year.
Absolutely.
So let's please say some more on that score.
Sure,
please.
I'm happy to.
Yes.
Because of COVID, this is one good thing that has happened. We are able to extend our reach worldwide. To Australia, to anywhere in the world, because we're on the virtual platform this year. So anybody can contribute and log on and be part of this fabulous feast in their living room, wherever, without wearing a mask. Can you imagine?
Yes.
So it really will just be something that all can enjoy. Shall I tell you a little? We actually have 14 sponsors this year.
Sure. Tell us about them, please.
The wonderful sponsors: Kingston Freeport Terminals, Nationwide News Network, NCB, Lasco, Total, Neville A. Mills and Associates, Les Cargo, Treatment Room, the French Embassy, as you mentioned, His Excellency, Lidford Mining, Spencer's Tailoring, Wardrobe Mistress, Victoria Mutual, and Taina Cove. So it's just wonderful. And shall I tell you a little about how you can enjoy this feast of music?
Please do, so that those who are standing by to take down whatever information they need to can plan to be a part of the Classics in June experience on Father's Day.
Absolutely. And can you imagine after COVID, you can really just sit and relax and enjoy this prestigious feast of music. This is the 16th year, that Classics in June is being hosted.
Time
And
flies.
it is, in fact, our premier fundraising event. It's just a fabulous event of which you know a lot. So it will be on the virtual platform, and it's on the 20th, Sunday at 2 p.m. And you can gain access by contributing 2,500 Jamaican dollars or 25 US dollars for overseas persons. But this must be done through our Facebook page. So you would go on to www.facebook.com/Soroptimus Jamaica Kingston. So the extension is Soroptimus Jamaica Kingston.
Right.
And you will see the program there, not the program, but the flyer of all the guests, special guests who will be performing, including, as Rosette will tell you, even one from Yuko Aoki from Japan. So all over. But you see what COVID has enabled, or at least I should say the virtual platform has enabled. I mean, we can get fabulous, top quality entertainers now without having to fly them to the Jamaica, all of them. They can send in their pieces and we can just have a fabulous time. So once you log on and you do your contribution, you will be given access. You will receive in due course an email giving you access to thanking you and giving you access to the concert, the virtual concert. And just in case you're not able to make it on Sunday the 28th, we will keep it open for contributions until the 27th. So you can contribute up to the 27th and view the concert.
Oh, lovely.
And because Soroptimism is involved in so many worthwhile events in the interest of assisting women and girls, because that's what we are about.
In fact, I want you to say more on that, but we need to take a break. After the break, we're going to ask Soroptimist Rosette to give us an idea of the lineup in terms of the performers who will be showcasing their talent at Classics in June on Father's Day, 2:00 in the afternoon, with an opportunity to watch it even after Father's Day. More in a moment.
In my career.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. Class is in session on Hits 92 FM and Power 106 FM. Join Hits 92 FM from Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and Power 106 FM on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for class time. Fun, interactive, educational content for students from the early childhood to secondary level. We take you to school on a wide range of subjects, including language arts, literacy, mathematics, civics, religious education, and others, all from the comfort of your home. Class time on Hits 92 FM and Power 106 FM is brought to you in partnership with the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. We're featuring a fundraiser organized annually by Soroptimist International Jamaica Kingston, the first service club for women. And some very committed women continue to play their part. Can we borrow the words from the National Pledge? In advancing the welfare of the whole human race. Classics in June 2021, the virtual edition, being held under the distinguished patronage of His Excellency Denis Vibo, Ambassador of France, and Madame Angélique Vibo. And it takes place at 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, Father's Day. And online, we have Sir Optimists Maxine and Rosette. And Sir Optimist Rosette will now give us the lineup, give us a sense of who can we expect to see and hear from at this year's edition of Classics in June. Sir Optimist Rosette, over to you.
Yes. Okay. So think in terms of performers, think Cuba, think USA, think Japan, think Jamaica. So it's quite a mix.
It sounds like the United Nations.
All right. So for the first time, we're having mezzo-soprano international opera singer guest Rehan Bryce Davis, and she is of Jamaican parentage. She is or has been hailed the New York Times as a striking mezzo-soprano. So we're really glad to have her on board. And she'll be doing work by Gounod and Rogers, and also pieces from Peter Ashburn's composition Nobody's Business. We're also going to have Juliana Mateo. She's a 15-year-old harpist from Pennsylvania, and she's going to be accompanied by Eric Marchese, a pianist who also hails from the USA, from Pittsburgh. We're going to have our very own Livingston and Laurie Burnett. I'm sure persons know those names. Laurie is a soprano, and she'll be accompanied by her husband, Livingston Burnett. Laurie is going to be doing work from Handel and Hoiby and Kilter. Then, we heard about the Yoko Aoki, a classical pianist and musicologist from Japan, and she'll be favoring us with Nocturne in B flat, Chopin, Schubert. We're going to be having our very own Stephen Woodham. And, a highly respected violinist, but what I want to jump to is that he was recently awarded the
Musgrave Medal
from the Institute of Jamaica. So we're excited about that for him.
Yes.
And let me go down here. Yes, we're going to have Lieutenant Rafael Salazar. We call him a Cuban Jamaican. He's Lieutenant Director of Music of the Jamaica Defense Force. And he's been saying, I Classics in June for quite a while.
Yes, indeed. I do recall.
Yes. Then we have Santorini Degri Arcangeli, our very own accomplished tenor. And he's also someone who has offered his talent to Classics in June over the years, and we're really happy to have him back. He's going to be offering work from Strauss and Liszt and a few others. And then we have Yannick Leiber-Iban, one of our highly accomplished pianists and singers, and she's going to be accompanying Santorini. Yes, okay. And she has accompanied so many of our local artists over the years: Stephen Woodham, Dr. Curtis Watson, Karen Smith, Commander McFarlane. So really, she has offered herself to a number of our local performers. Then we have Emily Dixon, and she's a cellist, and she's going to be accompanying Santorini. We have Gabriel Walters. He's a violinist, highly accomplished as well, and he is going to be also accompanying Santorini. And I was through my list. That's
Yes,
about it for
you
now.
have quite an impressive
Yes.
lineup.
Right. So it promises to be an exciting event. People are going to be really awed and wowed from the presentation from these performers. So really, try to save the date and make your bookings early.
That's right. And listeners, if you need more information, please go to facebook.com/Soroptimist Jamaica KGN. KGN for Kingston. Soroptimist Jamaica KGN. And you will get all the information you need to be a part of the Classics in June experience, Father's Day, Sunday, the 20th of June. And let's find out now the contribution, as you heard from Soroptimist Maxine earlier on, 2,500 Jamaican dollars. And for those in the diaspora, elsewhere in the world, it's 25 US dollars. Now, please tell us, Soroptimist Maxine, in fact, give us an idea of the record of Soroptimist International Jamaica Kingston in serving the interests of women and girls, among other initiatives. In other words, how you've been spending the funds contributed to Soroptimist International Jamaica Kingston over the years, and the plan for this year going forward.
Absolutely. And our motto, is we are women inspiring action and transforming lives. And how
Lovely.
have we been doing that?
Yes.
Now, as I told you earlier, the Classics in June is our premier fundraiser. But since last year, we haven't had it. Because of COVID. So, of course, coffers are dry, but what have we been doing? Over the years, Soroptimism in Jamaica has significantly influenced policies and programs in Jamaica, leading to advances in the status of women and children, such as we brought attention of the government years ago in the early years and the public, the need for updating family laws, those relating to the status of children, and compulsory registration of fathers, which, is an issue which has come in for renewed attention recently.
Yes.
We also, and this might surprise you, we also lent our voice to advocacy efforts to ensure that the Women's Desk, established by the state in 1974, became upgraded to a Bureau of Women's Affairs. And since 2011, we have been adding our voice to the fight against human trafficking in Jamaica. And last year, towards the end of last year, we also added our voice to the development of the sexual harassment bill, which, as you know, is still ongoing.
Yes.
We made our presentation in Gordon House. Now, what have we been doing where has our focus been? All right. This year, our focus is largely on assisting the Jamaica National Children's Home and the SECDC, which is the school for oh my goodness.
No, I'm sure it's a
name
lot.
has just slipped. The SECDC.
Yes.
Shortwood Early Childhood Development Center. It's a basic school which we assist quite a bit. And when I say assist, what do we do? For instance, with the Jamaica National Children's Home, recently, because of COVID and the virtual learning platform to which they had to pivot, we actually donated to the home 30 high-quality tablets and 30 headsets for some of the youth to use there.
Yes.
So they were able to continue their learning.
A most timely intervention.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have, over the period with the Jamaica National Children's Home, we have also had a mentorship program going. We have assisted them in various ways over the years, refurbishing various areas there, including the Tegwin home. We adopted the Tegwin home. We recovered chairs, various refurbishings, fixed up cupboards and stuff, lighting, security lighting. So each year we donate quite a bit of money to the Jamaica National Children's Home as they indicate their need, you know.
Yes.
And for the Shortwood Early Childhood Development Center, we have assisted them financially too in various ways, including years ago we put in a computer center, we did some refurbishing there, and we equipped the computer room that was put in. We still do give parenting talks. We have now, we help their nurturing of the children there, and we have given a scholarship each year to a child, an outstanding child. We also, this year, because of COVID and the hardships that the parents would have faced, we donated care packages twice in that kind of summer period and later at Christmas. We donated hefty care packages in collaboration with Woman Inc. We donated care packages to the parents.
That's a lot of work. There's more?
There's quite a bit more. And I would like to just quickly touch on two things, because the idea is that those who log on and see and hear about us may be interested not only to contribute for a ticket, but also contribute to the cause, the Sir Optimus International's cause in Jamaica, the Kingston Club's work in Jamaica. So we are investigating also, not investigating, COVID has delayed it, but there is a breakfast feeding program due to come on stream as soon as face-to-face learning returns. And we'll be doing that breakfast feeding program every day, every morning, porridge and crackers for the children. So there is that to enable their further learning. This year, we're also planting trees, and we have planted 25 trees. Sir Optimus International in Jamaica has planted 100 trees. And you know the virtue of that with the environment and all of that. And the trees we have planted are fruit trees, breadfruit and apple and mango and all those wonderful trees. And for Kingston Club, we have planted these in children's homes. So the children will have a chance to nurture and care for these trees and then have the fruit to eat and to help, you know, with their nutrition in the homes.
Yes.
So lots of things. There's also a project called the Sweep Project, which is a fabulous one that we're seeking to develop funding for, which is actually Sir Optimus Women's Embroidery Enterprise and Empowerment Project. And that is being done, or we seek to do that, once we can get enough funding in West Rural St. Andrew, where women will be taught skills in embroidery and various making of craft, and then go on into enterprise, you know, income generating projects. And so there is that, which is a big project, which we're hoping that we can secure funding for and put it in place.
Well, let's come back and wrap, please, ladies. One moment, please.
Sure.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
Isn't it queer losing my timing this late in my career? But where are the clouds? There ought to be clouds. Well, maybe next year.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:01. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:01. 现在地点了4点01分. A minute past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. We've been featuring the work of Sir Optimist International Jamaica Kingston ahead of their virtual fundraiser on Father's Day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Sir Optimists Maxine and Rosette, that's Sir Optimists Maxine Wedderburn, immediate past president of the club, and Sir Optimist Rosette Salazar, a member of the planning committee and an accomplished soprano in her own right. And they've both been giving us a tremendous amount of information on the work of the organization and a bit of a panoramic view, for want of another term, of the range of services they've been providing and the lives they've been touching and changing and impacting, and legislation that they have agitated for and advocated for, etc. It's a lot of work. And as former Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Edward Seaga once said, it takes cash to care. And so they do care, the women of this first ever service club for women, Sir Optimist International, and not least of all, the Sir Optimist International Jamaica Kingston Club. And we're happy to be able to share their work and to encourage support for Classics in June at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. If you need more information, please go to the website. I beg your pardon, go to Facebook, which is essentially their website in a sense, but it's Facebook. Go to Facebook. So it's facebook.com/Sir Optimist Jamaica KGN for Kingston. So that's SOROPTIMIST Jamaica, spell out Jamaica, and then KGN on Facebook. Sir Optimist Jamaica KGN. And you will see the program. The program is there. The sponsors who are on board to help to offset costs, etc., and how you can contribute. Well, go to the Facebook page of Sir Optimist Jamaica Kingston. That's facebook.com/Sir Optimist Jamaica KGN for Kingston. And you'll have the information there. For those who are moved to contribute and want to also enjoy the concert or the other way around, it's 2,500 Jamaican dollars contribution. And if you're overseas in the diaspora and elsewhere, it's $25 US. And you would have heard just now Sir Optimist Maxine Wedderburn giving us a long list of accomplishments through your contributions. We're sure there are those of you listening who have contributed before and will be contributing. And it's your contribution is appreciated. I'll allow you to conclude those sentences you were sharing with us before the break, Sir Optimist Maxine.
Oh, thank you so much, Dervan. And really, I just want to say to everybody listening, tell a friend, tell many friends, and come and enjoy this wonderful feast of music on Sunday. Classical music, high quality, top quality music from all over the world. But one other thing I must mention that we do is we have an annual health fair. And would you believe that last year, 2020, we actually had the fair on the 6th of March, I think it was. It happens before International Women's Day, in honor of International Women's Day. And like 2 weeks later, there was the lockdown with COVID. And this is just a wonderful fair that assists with all those persons in the Swallowfield, Nannyville area. Last year, we served actually over 300 persons. Can you imagine that? And the services that they got, total 650, because each one availed themselves of many different services. And it has just been a wonderful, wonderful way to serve. They start assembling from 7 in the morning, and we go on till about 2, 3 o'clock. And their own testimonials is just marvelous. So get involved. You'll be helping people in a very, very real way, with our focus being women and girls. But of course, we don't leave out the family, because impacting the family, that way you get better outcomes. So
Absolutely.
come on out, enjoy. We look forward to seeing you all online and seeing you making your contributions. And remember, if the link will be up until the 27th. So if you did not get to pay on time and avail yourself access to it, you can pay up to the 27th, and you'll be sent another link for that you are able to view it. But each payment that you make, each contribution is just one viewing.
Right. And
Thank you so much, Dervan.
Sure.
It's been wonderful speaking to you.
Same here. And Rosette Salazar, in terms of time, what are you looking at with all these multi-talented musicians and classical performers?
Time in terms of the duration of the concert?
Yes, for those who yes, want to have an idea of how much time they'll be able to allocate to be able to watch.
Right. Maximum 2 hours, not more.
Right.
Hour and a half to 2 hours.
Good. And a wonderful way to spend Father's Day. Thank you both so much for the work that you continue to do, along with your fellow Soroptimists of the Jamaica Kingston Club. Well done.
Thank you so much. And for your continued support of us.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Anytime. You know what I always like to say, you're the ones doing the heavy lifting. I'm just happy to be able.
With us.
Yeah, we're just happy to be able to share your work with Jamaica and the world.
Thank you so
Well
much.
done. All the best.
Forward to Sunday.
Definitely. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Soroptimists Maxine Wedderburn and Rosette Salazar, immediate past president and planning committee member, respectively, for the first service club for women. Yes, indeed, Soroptimist International. And Jamaica, there are 5 clubs in Jamaica, as we heard earlier on from Soroptimist Maxine Wedderburn. Their fundraiser, Classics in June, the virtual edition, Father's Day. And if you need more information, it's facebook.com/Soroptimist Jamaica KGN. And you can follow the instructions from there. Thank you so much. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. A lot of messages. Jeannie Chambers, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Jacqueline Simmons, good afternoon and blessing to you too. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Blessings on this beautiful Monday. Blessings to you too. Jennifer Stewart says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan and everyone listening all over the world. Good afternoon, Jennifer Stewart from Q Road in Kencott, St. Andrew. Thank you. Anston Douglas says, good evening, good afternoon. Still afternoon here in Jamaica, Anston. Bless up to you too. Velta Wilson, good afternoon. Velta Wilson listening from St. Thomas Eastern. Faye Weller says, blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. To you too, Faye Weller. Inez Campbell-Brown, good afternoon, everyone. A nice rainy Monday, says Inez Campbell-Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Norman Hines, good afternoon. Nicola in Mandeville, Manchester. Good to have you on board. Devon Lewis, good afternoon. He says, sorry to be late for class. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your continued listenership and support. Some messages. Tamara says, thank you for getting the person at NWC received the water today. Now, those are the stories we like to hear. Thank you. Tamara messaged us on the 9th of June, expressing her distress and disgust at the not having water 6 weeks, no water for her mother, and her brother applied for piped water over 5 months, etc., etc. A couple of issues there. And we shared her information with Andrew Cannon of the National Water Commission, the NWC, and problems solved. And Tamara writes to say thanks. Thank you. It's what we do, Tamara. Happy to oblige. Happy to hear that finally, once again, the water is running. Wonderful. Wonderful. HJ in St. Catherine says, good evening, teacher. Good afternoon, HJ in St. Catherine. The broadcast is chipping in and out 11 miles south of Black River. Wonder what is causing that tripping of the system. But that's all right. You put it in Jamaican parlance. Nothing wrong with that. Chipping. The thing chipping out. That's what we say in Jamaica. It a chip out. No, that's serious. Let's forward your information to the transmission group, the transmission WhatsApp group. That's the team with responsibility to manage the broadcast apparatus of the entire group, not least of all Power 106 FM. Michael from Belle Plaine in Clarendon says, good afternoon, teacher. You 1 in a million. Thank you to educate me on the cement. Oh, that story. Yes. I'm happy my house near finish. My wife, children, and grandchildren. I will be here for summer holidays. October month, the best month in the year. My wife born the 21st, as I the 24th, and you born October as well. Blessed month with lots of rain. Blessings. Keep safe, teacher. God's blessings I wish you. Thank you, Michael from Belle Plaine in Clarendon. Happy to know the house is you're about to complete the expansion work on your house. Wonderful. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine says South Africa did the West Indies like a number one team. I get what you're saying in terms of their performance. Yes. The mango is thought to have originated over 5,000 years ago in Hindu-Burma region, which extends from eastern India and southern China across Southeast Asia. That's Ricardo's bit of net surfing and pulling up information on the mangoes. Thank you very much, Ricardo. We'll have more after the break.
My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Contractors and developers, Coast to Coast Quarries is having a 10% sale on all size stones. Coast to Coast Concrete has relocated to 5 Lady Musgrave Road and has opened a new plant at Somerset in Mandeville. So for all your concrete needs, including blocks and mild dust, look no further. Coast to Coast Group of Companies, expanding to serve you better. Call 876-706-3230, 876-754-7472, and 876-904-555527.
See, you know, the real lockdown just a start for 30 days straight. Lockdown at Suzuki. The lowest prices on 2020 Suzukis in stock. Plus, every 2021 model pay no monthly payments for 3 months with Simpson Finance. Lock down your Suzuki for as low as $2.9 million. And check out all our Suzukis made for all roads in life. Like the Desire, Ciaz, Vitara, Baleno, Chimney, XL7, and Carry pickups. All with free service, Amber Tracker, premium tint, and 5 years warranty. It's lockdown time only at Suzuki. Visit us online at Suzuki Jamaica or our showrooms at South Camp Road, Kingston, and Iron Sherma Bay. Conditions apply.
Come here, Pitney. This a go hot, but no ball too hard. It's for your own good. For short, me say, when people see you with a big bunny upon your skin, then we feel sorry for you and give you money.
A child begging on the streets is a victim in need of care and protection. They're often sent out by adults who profit from their pain. This is human trafficking. Help eliminate human trafficking in Jamaica. Call 811 or the nearest police station and report suspected cases.
A message from the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:17. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:17. 现在几点了？4点17分. 17 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. More of your messages. Good day, Mr. Malcolm. The sound is very low in the Monique area. I can hardly hear you. Here we go again. The transmission group. We just sent you that message as well. Sorry to hear of the situation in your area in terms of Power 106 FM's transmission. Let's go to Solji in Massachusetts. Good afternoon, Solji in Massachusetts. Steve in Toronto, Canada. In touch with us as usual. Good afternoon, Steve. More messages coming in. Good afternoon, sir. Hope all equal. Now, concerning the public transportation, we need a decent, orderly public transportation, and the transport minister needs to implement a fare stage system so the buses will complete their journey. The buses that run to Stony Hill, Golden Spring only go to Halfway Tree. They don't want to go town for the same $100. So a fare stage would let them go to town to Golden Spring, or go from town to Golden Spring. The coaster buses not going town. That's information from one of our listeners. Over to the Minister of Transport and Mining. Over to the Minister of Transport and Mining. I'm not sure. I didn't get to watch his presentation in the budget debate. Not sure if this matter was addressed, but over to the Minister of Transport and Mining. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. I think you have received the Humanitarian Award for helping Jamaicans navigate the tough times. Blessings every time, sir. You're very kind. Cuban in Georgia. Thank you very much for your message. And let's see who else is messaging us here. Shout out to all listeners, says Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine. Good evening, says Golden Brown. Good afternoon, Golden Brown. Paul in Philadelphia says, good day, Dervan and friends. Good day to you too, Paul in Philadelphia. Let's go over to YouTube. On YouTube, good day to you, Wayne Thompson. Thank you very much for tuning in. All the very best to you. We did promise you that we would share with you the story of the great Leonie Forbes. Today is her birthday, and the selections at the top of the program were indicative of the celebration. And we want to we want to take it a step further right now. Leonie Forbes has never been one for accolades and all the other wonderful words and awards, etc., etc. She has made and continues to make her contribution to the arts, not only locally but globally. And we are going to share with you now this story. Let's go back, and they say it's impolite to ask a lady her age in the first place, but in this instance, we're not going to. We're not going to. I'm sure she doesn't mind, but let's take you back to that time. Let's take you back to that time. Born on this day at Victoria Jubilee Hospital in downtown Kingston, daughter of Roderick Wedderburn and G. Forbes Wedderburn. Born on this day at Victoria Hospital in Kingston, daughter of Roderick Wedderburn and G. Forbes Wedderburn, Leonie Forbes, OD. Leonie Forbes grew up in Kingston as an only child. She attended St. George's Preparatory, Marywood Elementary School, Michael Practicing School, Kingston Senior School, Excelsior College, and Durham College. Ms. Forbes is an actress and former radio and television broadcaster. Her first job after leaving school was with Sir Philip Sherlock. She worked as a typist at the then recently incorporated University College of the West Indies, UCWI. That's why to this day there are people in Jamaica who refer to the University Hospital of the West Indies as UC. You will hear them say because it used to be the University College of the West Indies, UCWI. But back to the story of the great Leonie Forbes. After a while, she went to work with Barry Record, a playwright. Here, she would type Mr. Record's plays and at times accompany him to the studios of the Government Information Service, GIS, which is now Jamaica Information Service, JIS. The great Ms. Forbes would watch the recording sessions. It was here that she got her first exposure to radio as she started to do parts in the programs produced for government broadcast. When the now defunct Jamaica Broadcasting Corporation, JBC, started in 1955, the great Leonie Forbes became an announcer. She was one of the first voices on the radio, along with Dennis Hall, Desmond Chambers, Erica Allen, and Beverly Anderson. That's the same Beverly Manley, yes, Beverly Anderson, who was married to Michael Manley. And, well, there you go. The late Mrs. Rita Kaur, who Leonie Forbes said was one of the influential people in her life, heard her on the radio and decided to give her speech lessons. Mrs. Kaur said that Leonie had a charming little voice, but was doing some dreadful things to the language. It was with the help of Englishman Robin Michelin, who came to Jamaica to help set up the JBC, that Leonie was able to attend the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, RADA, in England. So RADA here in Jamaica is obviously a totally different thing from RADA in England. RADA in Jamaica stands for Rural Agricultural Development Authority. RADA in England stands for Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. So the great Leonie Forbes was able to attend the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, RADA, in England. She was quite impressed. I beg your pardon, Mr. Robin Michelin. Mr. Robin Michelin was quite impressed with her voice and offered to sign her up to attend the academy. Ms. Forbes was skeptical at the time and became increasingly disappointed after months passed and she didn't get any reply from the academy. She eventually heard that not only had she been accepted, but she had also won a tuition scholarship. She spent 6 years of study and practice at the RADA, where she pursued a diploma course in radio, television, and stage. Leonie Forbes also worked on scripts for the British Broadcasting Corporation's BBC's Caribbean service, where she did works on Jamaican lifestyle. The then Mrs. Forbes Amiel appeared in several RADA productions, including the pantomime Cinderella. She also played in Unknown Woman of Arras, Days of the Lion, and Antony and Cleopatra, in which she was the lead female actor. She is also featured in television drama series on the BBC and independent television networks such as Z Cars, Odd Man, Public Eye, Hugh and I, Desperate People, and Harper's West. On her first appearance in professional theatre, Busha Bluebeard, a Lloyd Record production in April 1962, a London critic, Kenneth Tynan, reported that Leonie put on a bewitchingly ingenious performance as a crystal ball trainee. Leonie Forbes returned to the JBC in 1966 after the completion of her training at the Royal Academy. She left again for Australia in 1968 with her husband, Dr. Keith Amiel. Yes, that's the same Dr. Keith Amiel from Caribbean Broilers Group, who at the time was doing research in veterinary science at Queensland University. While there, she appeared in the production of the Shakespearean play Merchant of Venice. She also took part in ABC radio plays, taught drama at 3 Brisbane schools, and worked as a librarian for International Business Machines Corporation, IBM Australia Limited. When Leonie Forbes returned to Jamaica, well, we'll pick up that story when we return from this break.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
Dip into fun and flavor with any pack of Oreo. Send 5 wrappers with expiration date no earlier than May 17 for a chance to win a weekend for a family of 14 all-inclusive, $150,000 cash, or a 40-inch smart TV. 3 ways to enter. Upload information to the Oreo link. More fun, more flavor with Oreo.com/promotion. Or mail wrappers to More Fun, More Flavor with Oreo promotion. PO Box 2000 CSO. Or drop in boxes in participating stores with wrappers and contact information from May 17 to July 9. Enjoy the flavor and get ready for the grand draw July 23. Let's win with Oreo. Authorized on the second 58 of the Budget Name and Notice Act.
Save more on prescription, cosmetics, gift items, toiletries, and stationery at Biomed Pharmacy, 4 St. Hilda's Drive, Brownstown, 917-8464, and Main Street, Gale St. Mary, 975-8275. Biomed Pharmacy, for the service you expect, plus more.
The time, 6:30.
All right. Don't go adjusting your watches and clocks and other devices now. That's that's the computer. ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在几点了？5:29 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Happy birthday to all those celebrating a birthday today, but we're especially saluting and celebrating the birthday of the great Leonie Forbes, Miss Lee, as some of us affectionately call her, or others, Leonie. And well, for me, I always say Ms. Forbes. Have a great deal of respect for the great Leonie Forbes. Right, we've been giving you we've been giving you the story, and what a story it is, the history of this great Jamaican, Leonie Forbes, OD. She returned to Jamaica. I wonder if anybody has told her yet that I'm loading her up on radio, in a manner of speaking. It's not the kind of thing that she's it's just not her personality, really. But we have to do it. We have to do it. Our children must know, and those who are our children right now across the spectrum must know of this great Jamaican, Leonie Forbes. She returned to Jamaica in 1970 and went back to JBC, where she worked as a producer-presenter for television. In 1972, she spearheaded the development of Radio 2 JBC FM stereo service and started and ran the JBC TV drama workshop, which produced, among other programs, Stronger, A Scent of Jasmine, and Let's Say Grace, a screenplay which she wrote and produced herself. In May 1976, Leonie Forbes was appointed to the post of Director of Radio Broadcasting for JBC. As an actress, Ms. Forbes has played leading roles in 12 pantomimes and has acted in plays such as See Mama, Miss Unusual, The Rope and the Cross, Old Story Time, and Champagne and Sky Juice. She has also appeared in films such as Children of Babylon, 1980, Club Paradise, 1986, The Orchid House, 1991, Milk and Honey, 1995, What My Mother Told Me, 1995, and Soul Survivor, 1995. Leonie Forbes also authored a book called The Re-Entry into Sound, and I do have a copy in my library, along which she authored along with Alma Mokyen, formerly of the UWI's Radio Education Unit. This is a standard text used to train broadcasters all over the Caribbean. Ms. Forbes is the mother of 4 children. In terms of honors and awards, My Life in Theater Medal by the Mexican Theater Center of the International Theater Institute for Outstanding Theater Personalities of Latin America and the Caribbean, 2001. Order of Distinction, Officer Class, Government of Jamaica, 1980. Silver Musgrave Medal, Centenary Medal, Bronze Musgrave Medal, 1973. And we could go on and on. And we have another bit of information that we wanted to share. The Gleaner, just about a week ago, was it a week or a few days ago, it so happened that the Gleaner pulled from their archives a story that was published back in the 60s about the great Leonie Forbes. And let's see if we can bring that up right now. It popped up a few days ago, part of the Gleaner Premium offering. And that's, hold on, let's see. Leonie Forbes. I think we have put it up too carefully because now, and such is the nature of the technology these days, you know you saved it, right? And then you start going, all right, so where did I save it? Where did I save this? I think we have it though. I think we're getting closer. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. So the Gleaner Classics, and the Gleaner Classics, Leonie Forbes gives her talent an international flavor. It was published Thursday, the 15th of April, 2021 at 10:04 p.m. Leonie Forbes is one of the foremost names in Jamaican media. Before she built that impressive body of work as actor, journalist, educator, she was a rookie, but even then, her talent was undeniable. As far away as Australia, as this Gleaner article from 1969 shows, Forbes was standing out. So this Gleaner article was published on the 16th of April, 1969. The headline, Jamaican actress in Australian theatre. Jamaican actress Leonie Forbes Amiel has been making news headlines in Australia for her role as Portia in the College Players production of Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice. Newspapers, radio, and television have given considerable coverage to her performance with the Players, a semi-professional Brisbane theatre company. The production opened for a 10-day season in Brisbane last month and moved on to towns in southeast Queensland. Appearances are scheduled for May at Canberra and then a succession of towns in North Queensland. Writing from Brisbane, where she and her husband, Dr. Keith Amiel, are currently resident from among several actresses of varied nationalities. The College Players, she writes, was started about 6 years ago by Don Batchelor, a former radio and television director. Part of the company's personnel are professional theatre people, while others are part-time, many of them being from the university. The leading man who plays opposite her in Merchant of Venice is a final-year law student. When the new state government theatre opens in Brisbane in 2 months' time, the company will present a season there. The play is Leonie's first major professional role in the theatre since she arrived in Brisbane from Jamaica last June. She has taken part in ABC radio plays, taught drama at 3 Brisbane schools, and is now working as librarian for IBM Australia Limited in Brisbane. The firm gave her leave to go on tour with the play. An interesting note for theatre buffs is recorded in one of the newspaper profiles on Leonie. It tells that she wears a honey-colored wig and special makeup to give her a more olive complexion for the role. On her work in radio, another Australian paper tells that Leonie Amiel now compares a program, Music from the Caribbean, on station 4QR. The series begins April 19. Each program will include talk, including poetry and music. Now that's where we want to stick a pin and draw a line, because this is one of the things that the great Leonie Forbes was famous for. Each of these programs she was down to do, Music from the Caribbean, included poetry and music. Poetry and music. And we learned that some long time ago, and we made the conscious decision to, can I humbly say, try to pick up where the great Leonie Forbes left off. Can't compare at all. She is the greatest at doing that kind of work of matching the poetry with the music, and we're just humbled to be able to do the same on this program. Not of the caliber of the great Leonie Forbes, but we try our best. So that's a key thing, and she is, well, in terms of the work that she did back then, she would combine poetry and music, and she did it in quite a prolific manner. And she studied at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, as we said, where she went on scholarship in 1961. She returned to Jamaica about 3 years ago, says the story, and was on the staff of the JBC until shortly before she left for Brisbane. Now, all of that which we just read was published on the 16th of April, 1969. 16th of April, 1969. And we're happy to celebrate Leonie Forbes' birthday today. As we said, we doubt she'd be listening. Maybe who knows what she's doing at this time. I don't know if anybody would have told her that we've been talking about her this afternoon on both sides of the story, and it's an honor to be able to share the tremendous body of work that this great Jamaican has been doing and still doing in some respects. Her work is the kind of, it is so rich that it keeps on giving long after it would have been done. And we could do no less but salute and celebrate Leonie Forbes on her birthday. As I said, I had the privilege as a youngster to share the stage with the great Leonie Forbes at the Ward Theatre it was. And even in that experience, I learned a few things from her there and then. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. The National Irrigation Commission Limited NIC is reminding the public that bathing, swimming, washing of clothes and motor vehicles is prohibited at their canals, dams and reservoirs. In fact, trespassing on the irrigation infrastructure is punishable by law under the Irrigation Act. A message from the National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Win big this summer. Enter the Gleaner Star Luxurious Escape Competition. Win the grand prize of 2 weekends for two at an all-inclusive hotel plus $25,000 in groceries, weekly cash prizes, and more. Buy a printed copy of the Gleaner Star. Enter the serial number at the front page by texting 876-322-7967 or online at gleanerluxury.com. Competition runs from June 6 to July 10, 2021. See the Gleaner and the Star for details. Your luxurious escape awaits.
Father, there he
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5:14. 现在几点了？4点14分。14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Let's clear some messages. Taki Lemqua has joined us. Rose McIntosh in London. Good to have you on board. Taki Lemqua says, bless up on the downside, near close of the afternoon, Dervan, and all in the mix all over. Greetings. It is so good to hear the ladies talking about their works, especially outstanding for me is the tree planting aspect of the discussion. It's always quite unimaginable that some living in areas where that possibility exists will oftentimes ignore and make excuses, ignoring the importance thereof, rather than having greater propensity to plant cash crop, a psychology that holds up to getting quick money. I remember encouraging a relative in such a position who did not take that opportunity after losing the only nutmeg tree at his premises. A big shout out to Leonie Forbes on her Earth Strong, blessings and more as continued in these spaces. One love. Thank you very much, Taki Lemqua, for being a part of today's edition of your program, both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. I saw a story that popped up. We'll have to come back to that. There's in relation to something that happened over the weekend. Not accessing that at the moment. Let's go to another of the applications here. Gosh, where did it go? There's a story that popped up. Let's give you a couple. Police woman locked up for 18 months on forgery charge, granted bail. Oh dear. PAHO director urges hemispheric countries to take blood drives to donors. Today is World Blood Donor Day. Timely reminder. Extra COVID vaccine transplant patients is another of the stories. It's all yours. JHTA tells entertainers pining after reopening. Children with mental health problems become adults with mental health problems. U.S. Senate chaplain to preach at virtual SDA service. And the remaking of Jamaica's Barbara Blake Hannah. Those are some of the stories trending in the Jamaica Observer. Not sure. Apparently, Loop has a new app, and we downloaded the app, but for some strange reason, we're not able to access the app. Coming back to that, U.S. workers push back against hospitals requiring COVID vaccinations. And there are other stories. Right, let's pause there and go across to the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, where Raskava is standing by. Greetings, Raskava.
Yes, I give thanks. I'm actually sitting though.
Good for you.
Yeah, man. I think you should check out that interview with Leo Gillens where Mrs. Forbes the interview with our own Leo Gillens and interviewing Miss Forbes. I didn't know he was into that business also, but it's a very interesting one.
Where did you see that?
It's on YouTube.
Oh.
It's entitled Jamaica Views.
Jamaica Views.
Jamaican Views, I think it was.
All right, I will check that out. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. It's actually Gilling, by the way, without the S.
But when you have that, all right, Leo Gilling.
Yes, yes.
People say Gilling.
Yeah, in Jamaica, yeah, people with the name Gilling would get. Oh Lord, what is that feedback, Rascal?
Oh, the fun that. Okay, hush.
Yes.
Yeah, but she reminds me of Miss Lou, but two different kind of seasoning to the same pot. So you get different result at the end.
Yes.
But she's very talented, man, and this thing just prove out Jamaica a little what we tell her. And may her life and her works live on for a long time.
Yes, indeed. And we're happy to be able to celebrate her birthday today while she's still with us. You know, we have a tendency, we wait until people are no longer around. But we're super happy to be able to do this. Well, I don't know if she would have heard, but we hope someone told her, and we hope she managed to listen, if even just a bit. But really, the idea of reciting poetry and playing music, we got that from the great Leonie Forbes. So how could we not pay tribute to her on a day like today, her birthday?
She have a unique voice that always sounding young.
Yes, true.
How she earned that, I don't know. But Leonie Forbes, all the best on your Earth date, and you can use it to just sit up and reflect on some of the journey, on what you did and said on the journey that you tried to get here. And no doubt you're going to give yourself a pat on the shoulder and say, well done, girl, well done. All right, sir. Bless up yourself.
Bless you too. Take care, Rascava. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website. Go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And just as we get ready to wrap, we thank those who have joined us this afternoon, and looking forward to your joining us again and again and again. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 14th of June, 2021. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. We're going out this afternoon in Leonie Forbes style as she celebrates her birthday today. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Happy birthday, Leonie Forbes.
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, and you in midair, sending the clowns. Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? Sending the clowns. Just when I stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual sway, sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love fuss? My fault, I fear. I thought that you want what I want. Sorry, my dear, but where are the clowns? Quick, send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Well, maybe next year.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio